Boys, some of you out there are just such nice guys. Yes, you too. And I know it seems like a positive thing, but being a nice guy is not something desirable. See, there's actually a big difference between a nice guy and someone who's just simply kind. See, a nice guy, he's often a very slimy person. His niceness doesn't seem very sincere, and oftentimes it's because he's trying to get into some girl's pants. A nice guy can also be a person who's just a pushover. He's always nice and never really speaks his mind. A person who always gets treated badly by everyone, who gets no respect by anyone, and one of the main reasons why you're a nice guy and why nobody respects you, sorry to say it, is because you can't set any boundaries. So how do you set boundaries? I'm going to give you a list of questions you can ask yourself whenever you need to make a decision, especially in a social scenario, and those are really going to help you set some boundaries. You want to start with, do I want this? If you don't, say no. Simple as that. I know other people's feelings are still important, but a nice guy always puts other people before himself, and that's just simply not healthy. Another one is this worth my time? See, your time is one of the most precious resources. You can never get it back. And it's absolutely understandable if you value your time over other people's. And last but not least, will this hurt me? Now the worst thing you can do is hurt yourself because you don't want to hurt anyone else. That's ridiculous. You're responsible for yourself. So stop being a nice guy and start getting your priorities straight.
After you've asked yourself these questions, the hardest part comes around. And this is actually enforcing the no. Remember, being a nice guy is largely about not being able to say no. It's like being a people pleaser. Those are very, very closely correlated. And I really know what I'm talking about because I used to be just like this. But by asking myself these questions and enforcing the no through the following tips I'm going to give you, that's really, really cured my nice guyness. I'm still a very, very kind guy, but I'm much less people pleasing. One thing that really helped me to stop being a people pleaser was by using affirmations. You need to make this no-saying person an absolute core part of your identity. So when I write down my affirmations every morning and every evening, I tell myself I'm comfortable saying no. I am honest. See, when I ask myself, do I want to do this? And I don't want to, then I'm honest with the other person, telling them, look, I really don't want to do this right now. Doing it, even though you don't want to, and just simply saying yes so that the other person doesn't feel bad, that's you taking their pain, their potential pain, onto yourself and you're being dishonest with them. Start being honest. Also remember that putting other people first teaches them that you come last. This is very powerful. Remember this in every single situation. You can practice saying no in some low-stakes situations, either when you're out with friends or with family, and you see that you're in a situation where saying no isn't really going to make a difference. Practice saying no, because if you can say no in those low-stakes situations, it's going to build up, and you can start saying no in those high-stakes situations. Another way of practicing is actually visualizations. There have been numerous studies on this, but one very interesting one was where they had a group of people, and they got a simple melody on a piano that they were supposed to practice for a couple of weeks. They had another group though, that was also given this melody, and they just simply visualized themselves playing the piano, pressing the keys. And then another group, just simply for placebo, they didn't really do anything. So after a couple of weeks, obviously the group that didn't do anything had no improvements. They couldn't play the piano. The people that actually played the piano, it was easy. They could actually play that melody perfectly. But now here comes a really interesting thing. The people that only visualize themselves playing the piano, they are almost as good as the people that actually played the piano. Only visualizing something and doing something in reality is basically the same thing to your brain. It can't really distinguish the two. So if you visualize yourself going into situations and saying no to people, it's like a VR simulation for your brain. Your brain thinks that you're actually talking to someone and telling them no. So this is a way that you can practice at home and stop being a nice guy in person with other people. And then lastly, you need to reflect. We're going to do some black box thinking here. Whenever you find yourself being a nice guy in a situation, do not just simply let that slip. When you go home, if this happens somewhere, when you go home, think about it, reflect on it, think about what happened, what you felt, why you felt this way, and how you reacted, and then how you could have done that better. Really analyze the situation so that you properly can act differently next time. And the same goes actually for when you have a situation where you're not being a nice guy, but where you acted correctly. Analyze it and feel proud of yourself. Congratulations, you stopped being a nice guy.
If you enjoyed this banging episode of Pablo's Pill, you might like this one as well. We'll see you there.